Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to discuss English Morphology, Block 4, Unit 1, that's the study of the words. So today what we are going to cover are the following topics. First we will understand what is a word, then the meaning of phonological and orthographic words. After that we will understand different words, like one word can have multiple meanings or multiple forms of words, but how it is considered to be as just one word. Then we'll come to this lexeme and its categories and different grammatical categories. There are 4 types. And then we will move forward to lexemes and its relationship with words and shapes. And then we will have definition of word, and finally we will understand morphemes and what exactly is morpheme, how things work out, what happens with those. So I will explain these things with the help of our IGNOU books, whatever is given in our course. This thing I will take it and we will understand with the help of that. But just to understand, to start, we have to understand what is a word. So if we are an English speaker or in any language, when we have words, so if I say eat, it's a word. If I say girl, it's a word. But if you actually go and check in the dictionary, you would get to see that the definition in the dictionary, there are 2 different definitions which are very different from what we expect a word to be. So let's start with what is the first definition in the dictionary. So the first one is given here, which is a command, a saying, or a proverb, a text, or a song, a promise, a declaration, a contentation, something like this is explained as a verb. And the second definition, the second category of the word is, I'm sorry, did I say verb? It's word. Yeah, word. So the second category is which says that anything which includes its uses as an element of speech or a combination of sound is called a word. So there are multiple definitions given in your IGNOU books like Oxford Dictionary, Collins Dictionary, American Heritage, Webster's. So many different definitions which we have found over there. But the one which I liked the most was the easiest and the most comfortable definition which I found was to be from Oxford's English Dictionary, which is a combination of vocal sounds or one such sound used in a language to express an idea, right? So what is a word? It is a combination of vocal sounds. Let's say girl, girl. So if I didn't know that a girl, what a girl is, then for me it's just girl, a little bit of r, and then l. So it's just random words. If I say fur, it doesn't mean anything. So we in the language we give it a meaning. So of course it is a combination of vocal sounds or one such sound. So not always combination, but when I say the or or a, they also mean something. So it could be either one sound or it could be a combination of vocal sounds. Both are possible. They are used in a language to express an idea. So as soon as I say girl or pearl, right, you can imagine, you can create a girl in your imagination, or you can see a pearl in your imagination. So how does it work? Because the language gave it the meaning. So this is the easiest definition which I found, and you could maybe read all these definitions, and if it comes to the examination, when describe a word and whatever sort of these things, you can always write down a couple of definitions, highlight them, and then mark it down. Yeah. So we will move forward. So a word is made of a sound or a series of sound, right? And we can also use that to describe the representation of these in writing. Because when I say girl, girl, I just say girl, but when I type, it is like this. So who is actually deciding how to say, how to pronounce, and how to write it, right? So that we will understand when we go further in this unit. The second thing which we are talking about, a word is a unit of speech. It is a unit of speech either in speaking or in writing. You can see here it is also or in writing. Now they have talked about a couple of contradictions about how this definition doesn't sit right. So this, I will just speak like what is happening here. They are saying that, for example, if I use the word postman, okay, I'm just giving an example, it could be any word. There are like a lot of words which we could talk about, but if I say the word postman, what comes to your mind? A postman comes, he's wearing a khaki color uniform, he has a bag, and then he's delivering letters to everyone, right? But if I say postman, okay, now this, maybe a man is posted or post a letter to this man, right? It could be anything. So what's happening here? How did postman get the meaning that it has? Because he brings post, of course. But you see now, this is not, this is of course a word because this means something. It is a combination of different sounds and it means something in this language. So definitely it is a word. So they are kind of contradicting that, but what if I separate them? Is it's still a word? So can two words combined be a word? Okay, so this is the contradiction that we are talking about. We'll move forward and we'll understand what is morphemes, but that is by the end of this chapter. So before that, I will explain to you what are the things which are coming in between, and then we will understand, is postman a word or not a word, or what's happening with it. Okay, so let's start with what is the advent of word. See, I'm not like going everything. I'm not going with everything which is mentioned here because that would take a lot of time. I'm just trying to make you understand whatever is happening, which is important, which might come in the exam. So let's see word as a physical shape. Let's understand some more points of word, and then we will come to morphemes. So this is phonological and orthological words. So what's happening is phonological words is how we speak the words. For example, here. Okay, since I've been taking boy a lot, girl a lot, let's take boy for a change. So this is my word boy, B-O-Y, boy. That's how we write it. And this is the pronunciation, the second part which you can see with this B, O sound and I, that's your boy. So that's how we pronounce it. So what's happening here is boy, boy with B-O-Y, it is your orthographic word. It is your orthographic word, which means that that is how you write this word. That is boy. What's a phonological? What's your phonological? Okay, anyway, you can see now. So this part, this B-O-I, boy, B-O-I, it is your, this is how you pronounce it. So that's your phonological word. Or I, okay, this is your boy. So this is your phonological and this is your orthographic word. Okay. Now what we are coming to is there are two types of orthographic word which are possible. For example, you write the word read, read, R-E-A-D, read, R-E-A-D. That's the word R-E-A-D, read. But this could also be pronounced as read. Okay. Also be pronounced as read. Why? In in English past tense form we also like I read a book. The spelling would still be the same. When I say I read a book, the spelling is still the same. So I read a book is correct. It is in present tense, and I read a book. It is also correct. It is in past tense. So what is the thing which is changing? It's this read or read. The pronunciation changed, and suddenly the tense of or the meaning of this sentence changed. Why? Just because of the way we pronounced it. In the first one, we were pronouncing it like this, read, and the second one, you're pronouncing it like this, read. Same goes with lead. So it could be lead and led. Okay. So we wrote the word. The orthographical form of the word was same, but the phonological form changed, and that changed the meaning of the word and also the sentence. So this is what we're talking about when we talk about kinds of words. Then there are 5 different kinds of words for just that one word, eat. I will just take one word, eat, and let's say eat, eats, ate, eaten, eating, right? Can you see? It's just one word, eat. All of them, they mean they are talking about the action of eating something. While maybe it's 2 people eating or multiple people eating or just 1 people eating or someone eating in the past or someone would be eating in the future. But they are all given as 5 different words. Now, when you open a dictionary, you will not find eat and then eating and then ate and then eaten. No, you wouldn't find it like this because it is all considered as the part of one word, which is eat. This is the main word. And then these 5, they are just the form of it. They are just a different form of the same word. So let's see again. Eat is here. Eat with singular. First person, it's eat. With the tense formation, it's still eat. Then if I talk about second person, then it becomes eats. If it's past, it becomes eaten. If it's singular, plural, like different forms, eating. So it's still the same word. Now this brings us to lexeme. Lexeme, we were talking about lexeme. A lexeme, so the abstract idea eat that occurs in all 5 forms above is actually a meaning, a name of an action, okay? And which is an orthographic shape of eat, eat. This is what we are getting. So to the category of words that are applied producing grammatical words, which we discussed below, these grammatical words are in turn realized by phonological and orthographic words. and these are called word shapes. These are called word shapes. So let's understand where lexemes comes in this picture. So the word has been called by different names, and the most common one being lexeme. This word has been called lexeme. It is also called as the lexical verb or the lexical item or vocabulary item. So let's see how this lexical word it changes. A lexeme can change the meaning of the sentence or the word. So it has total 4 categories, as I had mentioned before, that we would be talking about the 4 categories. Till now, we have understood what is a word, what is phonological and orthological word. We saw the 5 different words, eat, ate, and all of these. Now we will come to lexeme and its 4 grammatical categories. So a lexeme can come into all grammatical categories, including noun, verb, adjective, adverb, etc. And a noun may have singular, plural, or different forms like. Okay, so let's see the first one, which is it can fall into different grammatical categories like noun, verb, adjectives, adverbs. Okay, then it may come into singular, plural like boy and boys, or it may have a positive or comparative or superlative form like nice, nicer, nicest, right? This could also happen, or it can come into like a verb form like past, present, or participle. For example, go, went, gone. These would all be the forms of the same word, right? If I say go, went, or gone, they are all the forms of the same word go. This is still talking about the action of walking or leaving, right? Of going. We all know what go is. It comes also as the head word in a dictionary. For example, dictionary does not list as eat, eaten, and eating as 4 separate words. It just mentions eat alone, and it is listed once, only once. Then this term lexeme also includes item which consists of more than word shape, right? More than one word shape. Not just one word, but more than that. For multi-verbs like to catch up on, to phrasal verbs like to drop in, or idioms like to kick the bucket. So these things are also involved. They are also called as lexemes because they mean something. To catch up on, right? When I say, oh, I was just catching up with my friends. So what does it mean? Or you're trying to catch up on this lesson. You're not actually catching or, going up on something. No. This whole phrase, it just means that you are coming in terms with whatever is going on, or you're trying to get in the line, or you're trying to understand what's going on. Okay, so let's talk about some lexemes and word shape relationships. There are more. For example, they have talked about the word bank. They have talked about the word bank. It can have 2 meanings. This is just one bank, but it can have 2 meanings. For example, one is the bank where you submit your money, you give your money, and then it is safe there. The other bank meaning could be the riverside, on the river bank. Similar with the word bat. Bat could be the one which you play with, like a cricket bat, or it could be the animal as in bat. These words are called leomonyms. Okay, let's come down. There are a lot of things. If you want, you could read those. Okay, we move forward to word as an abstract entity. So each word has a phonological form, an orthological form, a grammatical form, right? So it has what? 3 types of forms. 3 types of forms which we talked about. We remember what is a phonological form. That is how you pronounce it, which we saw in those slanted, like these kind of things where this BOI was boy, something like this. So this is how you pronounce it. The second is the orthological form, which is boy, boy, right? So this is your second form, and then the final one which we have is your grammatical form. Grammatical. So let's understand when you say the word eat, eat, that's how it sounds. Eat, that's phonological. When you write it as eat, eat, then it is your orthographic word. And then finally, when it comes to grammatical, it could be ate, eaten, or different words as such, which helps you understand what is actually the grammatical meaning of this word. It could also talk about ate, eaten, all of these. They are the grammatical forms of these words. So they have talked about it. For example, eat, this is your eat, and this is your orthological form, and this is your phonological form, and this is your grammatical form, like ate and eaten. And then similarly, they have given more examples of sing, read, play, and cut. Right, you could see those. And then they're talking about killed a cow, killed a deer. So they're talking more about how this thing is coming on. So let's try to understand one thing. When I say the word young or old or sweet, this is a word. Of course, it's a word. But when I say the word younger, older, oldest, or sweetest, are they still a word? Because the definition of word was that the smallest combination of letter which cannot be broken further, right? Something which cannot be broken further, that is how a word should be. That is what we think that a word should be, but actually that's not the definition of word. That is the definition of a morpheme. So when I say works, worked, and working, then these are of course they are words, but we have to understand that what is the difference between word versus morphemes. So morphemes are defined as the smallest elements that have a meaning, okay, or they have a formal grammar function. So when I say old, young, sweet, they are all your morphemes. They are also word, but they are also morphemes. But when I talk about older, younger, or sweeter, they are just words. They are not morphemes. They are not morphemes. They are words. So a morpheme could be a word, okay? Morpheme could be a word, but not every word is a morpheme. That we have to understand. So you understand that sometimes we add affixes or either as a prefix, which is something which is added as before the word, and it could be a suffix which is added after the word. For example, al, as, ed, right? Dance, danced, dance, dancing, dance, dances. So these are your affixes. So you add this to a word to create another word. So a word has to be composed of two free morphemes. Example, postman. This is what we were talking about. Blackboard. Goalkeeper. This has two different morphemes. Post plus man. Black plus board. Goal plus keeper. Now these all words, in itself, they have a meaning. When I say the word postman, it has a meaning in itself, but also the word post and the word man, they also have a separate meaning in itself. So now they are all a morpheme. This and this, these two, they are morphemes. But this word right here, postman, it's not a morpheme, it's a word. So you can have a word which is created by combination of two or more morphemes. That is possible. One or more morpheme is also, like just one morpheme is also possible. So, however, it is possible for a word to be composed of. So I hope you are getting this, that this post, we cannot break it any further. I cannot say just po and it would mean something, or stir and it would mean something. No, it does not mean anything, okay? When I say man, so man doesn't mean anything, or na in itself doesn't mean anything. So these are not just like, I cannot break post or man any further, and that's why these are morphemes. But let's say if I took another word which was pretty, and then I made it prettier. In this, and then I added. So in this case, what's happening? This and this s, they are not morphemes. Pretty is, but and stir, these are not morphemes. They are just affixes which are added onto these words to change the meaning of this word. Affixes could be a suffix or a prefix. Both are fine. That could be added to change the meaning of this word. Okay, let's go down. So they have given more example, like kill is your actual word. Kill is the actual word. Okay, and then you can write it as killed, and then phonological would be this one, right? And you put killing or killed, and there would be like more such words. There are more examples of these. And this brings us to the conclusion, where we understand that if I take the word go, then the orthographic word is went. If I take the other form of go, the phonological word, it always is shown in these lines, went. Okay, and then I could have more combination of go with goes or going. These are other forms, and they are still the form of this word, which is go. Okay, so then we can have different morpheme combinations. Like you could add a go-getter. For example, if I say he is a go-getter, this is a word, but then this is a combination of go plus get plus this. fix that we have used, ter. Okay. So I hope this was a little bit clearer and you understood. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did so, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you guys in the next one.